Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Tonight I have prepared for you a cinematic short horror story for adults only. So if you are scared easily or are under the age of 18, leave now before it's too late. This modern ghost story will make your skin crawl. So turn off the lights and huddle under your blankets because this one will haunt your nightmares forever. In the dead of night, a lone motorist is racing down a deserted highway. Her car radio is tuned to a local station broadcasting an ominous weather report about severe storms and flash floods in the area. Rain lashes against the windshield as lightning illuminates the dark road ahead. The driver struggles to keep her cool as she navigates through the dark and winding roads. Suddenly, a tire blowout forces her off the road. She slams into a ditch and her car comes to a stop. Shaken but unharmed, she climbs out of the wreckage and surveys the damage. There isn't any cell phone reception out here. She is completely alone and has no way to call for help. As night falls, the sky becomes filled with heavy gray clouds. Lightning flashes across the darkness as thunder rumbles overhead. Lost and afraid, she continues to walk until she sees a faint light in the distance. With renewed hope, she limps towards it, stumbling over tree roots and rocks. As she approaches, she realizes it's a run-down roadside motel. Relief washes over her, and she rushes inside. The interior of the motel is dimly lit and sparsely furnished. The walls are adorned with water-stained wallpaper, and the carpet is stained and threadbare. His eyes are sunken, and his skin is pale, almost translucent. But my tire blew out and I was wondering if I could rent a room for the night. The man's eyes narrow slightly, but he doesn't respond. After what feels like an eternity, he finally speaks, his voice raspy and low. Sure, just take a room at the end of the hall. Room 313 will be available. He pushes a key across the desk towards her. Just don't open the window, no matter what you hear or see, he warns ominously. Startled by his cryptic warning, she takes the key and retires to her room. She steps into room 313 and immediately senses something is wrong. The room is dusty and cobweb-filled, as if it hasn't been used in years. The air is stagnant and heavy, making it difficult to breathe. The bedspread is threadbare and stained, and the curtains are drawn, plunging the room into darkness. An uneasy feeling washes over her and she hurries to the window to pull back the curtains. But as she does, she notices something disturbing. There are no windows. In their place are two blank walls and a steel door with a small peephole. Confused and unnerved, she moves away from the window and notices a small table in the corner of the room. On it is a glass of water and a note. "Don't drink the water," the note reads. Startled by the ominous message, she moves away from the table and paces anxiously around the room. Her mind races, trying to make sense of the strange warning. Fearful of what may happen if she drinks the water, she decides to leave the room and find another source of water. As she searches, she notices a second door in the room, which she had not seen before. Hope that she might find help outside the room, she throws open the door and steps out into a dark and narrow hallway. The walls are covered with peeling wallpaper, and the flickering neon light from a sign outside illuminates strange stains on the carpet. At the end of the hallway, she sees a single door, which she opens cautiously. To her surprise, she finds herself in a brightly lit bathroom with a sink, toilet, and shower. Relief floods her as she turns on the tap and drinks deeply from the sink. But as she does, she hears a loud crash from down the hall. Terrified, she runs back to her room, slamming the door behind her. As she stands in the room, listening intently, she hears a soft, scratching sound coming from the other side of the wall. Fearful, she moves away from the wall and tries to calm herself, telling herself that it was probably just a stray animal. But then the scratching starts again, this time accompanied by a low, guttural growl. Paralyzed with fear, she watches as the growling continues. Then suddenly, the growling stops. In its place, she hears a soft, insidious whisper. "Let me in. Please, let me in." Her blood runs cold. Who's there? She thinks, but before she can answer, the whispering starts again. Let me in. Let me in. Please let me in. The voice is raspy and desperate, as if whoever is on the other side of the door is in great pain. Unable to bear the sound of the pleading any longer, she throws herself onto the bed and pulls the covers over her head. She tries to make herself believe that it was all in her imagination, that the growling and whispering were just figments of her overactive imagination. But then she hears a soft knock on the door. "Who's there?" she calls out, her voice trembling. There is no reply, only silence. Then the knocking starts again, soft at first, then louder. "Who's there? What do you want?" she cries out, burying her head under the covers. "Let me in," the voice rasps. "Please, let me in." The knocking grows louder and more insistent. "Go away. Leave me alone," she whimpers, but the voice only grows louder and more insistent. "Let me in. I need your help. Please let me in." The scratching begins again, this time accompanied by a low, guttural growl. Paralyzed with fear, she watches as the growling continues. Then, suddenly, the growling stops. In its place, she hears a soft, insidious whisper. "Let me in. Please let me in." Now consumed with fear, she gets up and runs to the windowless wall. She presses her ear against it, desperately trying to listen for any sound. Just when she thinks she can take it no longer, the scratching at the door suddenly stops. Just when she thinks that maybe it was all in her imagination, the scratching starts again, this time more frantic than before. "Let me in," the voice rasps. "Please let me in." She closes her eyes and tries to think of a solution to her problem. She can't stay in this room forever, but she is too terrified to open the door and face whatever is on the other side. Suddenly, she remembers the words of the creepy receptionist. He had warned her not to open the window, but he hadn't said anything about the peephole. Maybe if she could look outside through the peephole, she would be able to figure out what was going on. Taking a deep breath, she walks over to the steel door and peers through the peephole. What she sees makes her blood run cold. Outside the window is a dark and desolate wasteland. The wind is howling and the trees are swaying ominously. And standing just outside the window is a creature unlike anything she has ever seen before. It is emaciated and skeletal, with long, sharp claws and teeth. Its eyes are hollow and black, and it is staring directly at her. Before she can pull away from the peephole, the creature reaches out a clawed hand and pushes its way inside the room. Screaming in terror, she runs to the far corner of the room and hides. The creature slithers closer, its eyes fixed on her. It opens its mouth in a silent scream, and she can see its long, sharp fangs. And then it lunges. The last thing she sees is the creature's face contorted in a silent scream as it sinks its fangs into her neck. And then everything goes black.